Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our September 1st, 2020 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including Superman Man of Tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Lois, Superman and Lois. We're going to be talking comic books and so much more. And we're going to be turning to you to get your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show. Let me introduce you to my arrested and on holiday friend, Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Going well. And how are you enjoying your holiday, your break, your vacation?
Holiday. You guys get like 6 weeks. I've been listening to some Australian podcasts, and your vacations are so much better than ours. So and so much longer too. But no, we got Dragon Con coming up, virtual Dragon Con coming up this weekend. So I'm doing some stuff. I've pre-recorded some stuff, dipped into video, hate it. So I'm doing okay, but no one wants to hear about that. Everyone here who is watching WGBS Live wants to hear about Superman. And because of that, we want to hear from the people that are watching us live on YouTube right now. So about halfway through the show, and if we don't have too much to cover, we may start taking your calls. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's really simple. You're going to need Skype. Go to Skype, find Superman homepage, and send us a message that you'd like to be on the show. Now, a couple of things, and they're kind of important. One, message us. Don't just call. That really makes things difficult on us. And two, if you are using an external speaker to watch WGBS Live, please turn that down when we call you, because we're on a delay and that could kind of screw things up. Other than that, that's what you need to know.
Yes, and for those tuning in live via YouTube to watch tonight's show, we invite you to join in and chat with fellow fans, post your comments and ask questions. Michael and I will keep an eye on your comments throughout the show, so get involved. And if you want your comment featured live on screen during the show, feel free to post a super chat. All you have to do is click on the dollar symbol, the dollar bill symbol there on the chat screen. A slider will appear on your screen to decide on a dollar amount that you're prepared to donate, and we will feature your comment or question on the screen. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, Tina Murray, and John Patrick Van Pelt. And don't forget that you can get involved with the Superman homepage. You can like and share our comments, our broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also become an official member. You can click on the join button below, and there are different levels of perks. And also, if you want to support us, as Douglas, Tina, and John have, you can head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. So get involved in those different ways. All right. Well, Michael, it's kind of been a bit of a slow news week. There hasn't been anything major like last week where we had DC FanDome and all that kind of stuff take place. But Superman Man of Tomorrow is available digitally. I haven't seen it yet, neither of you, but we did have our reviewer, T.A. Hewitt, post his review on the Superman homepage website. He liked it. He says that he thinks they're making a positive steps in a new direction for Superman, and he thinks that the designs are fresh and bright, and he was quite impressed with the animated film. I've seen mixed reviews among Superman fans, but for the most part, people are quite positive towards the film.
Yeah, the best comment I read was that it's not quite as based on American Alien as I thought it would be, which just makes me happy, because I hated that story. So, no, I'm looking forward to watching it. Misgivings about the costume that we've talked about to the side. I mean, TA liked it, and a couple people I know on social media whose opinions kind of line up with mine liked it. So I think more than anything, next week I'll be picking it up. I don't think I'll get to see it before the show on the 8th, but definitely be going out to get it at the very least.
Yeah, same. So we'll hopefully, if not next week, the week after, be able to talk about it in detail with everybody else who's able to pick it up for Blu-ray, on Blu-ray. And if you want to purchase that through Amazon, head to our website and you'll find the links to be able to purchase that and get the Blu-ray combo pack or 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray combo pack of Superman, Man of Tomorrow. And speaking of Superman, Man of Tomorrow, the Warner Brothers Animation released these short little character profile videos of the main characters in the animated movie. I'm going to play it for you here. I collected them together, put our own little spin on it. So take a look at the Superman, Man of Tomorrow character videos. So there you have it, the character profile video, little snippets for each one. I guess the real difference in character design is Parasite. He really comes, it's really a unique design for the character, not like something we've ever seen before.
Yeah, I remember when the trailer first hit, before we got a really good look at it, some people were like, is that a white Martian? Which it does look more like the white Martians from Supergirl. But, it also occurs to me that between Krypton having Lobo in the second season and this having Lobo, that we're in this really weird period that people that like kind of get into Superman now are going to associate Lobo and Superman together, which...
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it just seems like, whatever was like associated with the version of Superman when you first started watching it seems to be what you forever associate it with.
Yeah,
so
that's so true.
It's just spitballing here. I'm full of ideas tonight.
You are fresh.
Yes, I am funky fresh.
Minty fresh.
Yeah, I'm minty. We'll go with that. I'm minty fresh.
Now, speaking of animated Superman, this one kind of came out of the blue, out of nowhere. DC released a YouTube video called The Evolution of Superman, DC Animated History. And it looks at Superman in animated form across both TV and film from the 1940s up to today. Now, there were some omissions and some inclusions that I found interesting. I'm going to play a little bit of it here, and then I will just kind of have it in the background while we talk over the top of it. So here's a little bit of Superman in the evolution of Superman in animated history.
Matter, Clark?
Oh, no, sir.
So there you have just a couple of the early ones that they've mentioned there. It's interesting they used Superboy segment from the Superman New Adventures of Superman animated series. Because we haven't seen those released yet.
No, we haven't. That's kind of the funny thing is that we do have DVD releases of the Adventures of Superman, which is what they called that. I was also a little amused that they included Brainiac attacks later in the video, and I'm like, is this really your best foot forward, y'all? Really? Seriously? Is this really okay? Whatever. I didn't put it together. And yeah, it seems a little disingenuous and maybe a little mean-spirited to criticize a video that was put out just for people to see, give them a kind of an introduction to people who may not be aware that there was, Superman shorts in the 40s, or that in the 60s there was an animated series of Superman and Superboy shorts. So on that, I give them an A+, including Brainiac Attacks. Yeah, it takes it down to a B, and something they left out maybe takes it down to a C.
Yeah, they left out the Ruby Spears 1980s Superman cartoons, and that kind of was a little bit on the nose because this week we sadly lost Joe Ruby, who was obviously the Ruby side of the Ruby Spears, corporation studio. Obviously did more than just the Superman series. They did Scooby-Doo. They did so many of the other animated film cartoons that we're so familiar with from our youth. But it was kind of sad that they missed out on including Ruby Spears, which really was one of the better animated series of Superman in recent history. I'm saying recent, it's the 80s.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
ancient history,
like over 30 years ago at this point. But there are people alive right now that weren't even remotely born when that came out, which is a factual statement that just, of course, there are people alive that weren't alive then. That's how life works. Life finds a way.
There are people watching the show who weren't alive then.
Yeah, the Ruby Spears series. If you want fun little one and done like Bronze Age Superman stories, you can't go much. You can't go do worse than that. I still think the best bit of animation, as with most series from the '80s, was the opening credits. It's just the crispness of the crispness of the style of the way the ship looked rocketing from Krypton. You had storyboards by Gil Kane. The story editor was Marv Wolfman.
Yep.
It was this weird mix of post and pre-crisis. It existed in this like it went 13 episodes because that's all they ordered. And Marv Wolfman, I remember talking to him at one point, him saying that he got the weirdest notes from Standards and Practices, like you couldn't destroy a robot because robots have souls. To leave that out. I joke about Brainiac Attacks. Mike Zumo in the comments says, for better or for worse, it happened. And yeah, I agree. It doesn't mean that they have to include it. But, Superman, just to actually showcasing anything Superman from DC is just a win at this point. It's just, we are such the needy little fandom for DC. It's just like, oh, you gave us something. Thank you, sir. I'll take another.
Good question from Mine the Gap. We're talking about people when they were born. Was anyone born who's watching born after 1994? Just interested. I'm sure there probably is, because then, of course, Mind the Gap's asking if anyone's younger than the Superman homepage, which started in 1994, November 94. So I'm kind of interested if there's anyone here who's been living less, like if the Superman homepage has been around longer than someone watching. That would be absolutely mind-boggling. But I'm sure.
And you would not have recognized it compared to today. It was literally just a page.
Exactly, a homepage. Anthony. The Super Friends are included in this animated video. You can check it out on our website in full. It does run for 15 minutes, 45 seconds. It's well worth checking out in full. And Steve Brown was born in 1971. So was I, Steve. So I'm glad I'm not the only old fogey in the room at the moment. But everyone's sharing their age. Michael's 1958. Not you, Michael. Another Michael Ballack in the comments. Tina is 1981. So Justin Suarez, 1973. So we're in the older bracket of Superman fans watching live at the moment. So yes, now everyone's revealing their age. Mark, I don't think wants to do that, but I think he's a little bit older than me. Maybe Mark, if I'm not wrong.
It was the Super Friends clip that they included was interesting because it was a first season one because it had Wendy and Marvin in it. So it's from the 1973 series, and yet the when they're talking about where they are, they're going to Donner Pass.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
willing
noticed
to
that.
bet that they probably included that because Donner was mentioned, even though that was way before Richard.
Yeah, that is weird.
Nerd.
Yeah. So, all right. So check that out in full at our website, the Evolution of Superman DC animated history, and it's well put together, regardless of the few little intricacies, things that we think could have been included or omitted, if you like. All right. Well, let's turn our attention to the TV side of things, and this one spiked our hits on the website today when it was released. The CW released a video called The CW Verse Superheroes, and it goes through all the CW shows, and then it has a teaser promo thing for Superman and Lois coming in 2021. I'm going to skip ahead to the Superman and Lois teaser.
The relevant parts.
Relevant for us. So here is the CW Verse Superman and Lois teaser.
You have failed this city.
Mightiest heroes.
What if this wasn't the life we were meant to have after Crisis? Your mother's planning a trip.
Clark Kent, back in Smallville.
This family needs Smallville as much as the world needs Superman.
Clark, I need you to get to Metropolis now. It's the boys.
The boys?
Yeah, honey, your sons. Front page news. Does this ever get old?
If it does, I will let you know.
Yep, and there's probably not a lot of new, if any, new material in that. It's kind of, a lot of it's rehashed from, and let's be honest, they probably haven't filmed anything at this point in time because of the pandemic and productions being shut down. I believe they are starting production later this month or early next month. So nothing new there that I could, the Lois Superman conversation was from the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, there was some dialogue that was new. One, like you heard Lana saying Clark can't return to Smallville, and Clark saying something about maybe our life was destined, and that's easy to do. They just got the stars from their homes to record the dialogue and send it to them, and put it in with which is weird that they used the the shot of Tom Welling. And the establishing shot of that, but it was the same house, so it really doesn't matter.
No, exactly.
It's just like I'm assuming that they're going to use the same house. No, the thing that got me more than anything about that was the music.
Yeah,
I was listening to it. I goes, is this like a general CW super theme, or is this like the new theme for the show? Because they developed a theme for Superman, which I rather liked. For when he was on Supergirl, it had kind of a nice driving march to it. But this sounds more John Williams, which I'm really not going to argue with that. So if that's what they're going with, then that's fantastic. I can't wait for them to start filming and the pictures and the set photos and stuff coming out. Having we read the script, so we got a kind of an idea of what they're going with, but. No, I was really happy that in the showcase of CW, I know it's the new show, but in the showcase of CW superhero shows, they really gave Superman, TV has treated Superman far better than the movies have. So I guess is the best way to say that.
Yeah, I agree, and I know there's some people who have concerns about this show because of being springing off from Supergirl, where maybe they had some issues with the writing for that series. There are a lot of people who aren't sold on the casting of Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch for the roles. That's personal preference, I guess. No one can, tell you not to like what you like or don't like what you don't like. But having read the script, you and I, for the pilot episode, and I'm sure that there'll be some changes, there always are, from what we've read to what will end up being eventually there, I'm actually really impressed with where this story is going and how they're developing this series and the tone that they're setting for this. I think Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch, or Bitsy Tulloch, have a great chemistry. I love their dialogue between each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I think I'm having connection issues with Michael, so he's frozen at the moment. I will get him back on very soon, so bear with me as I dial Michael back. We just had some connection issues there, but I'm getting him back on the line right now. So yeah, no, I've been really impressed with what they're doing so far. I know we haven't seen a lot, but we do believe that there might be tweaks to the costume. So we'll have to wait and see, if those come to fruition, because that's been another sticking point for a lot of people, is the costume design for Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, especially with the cape, the way it comes over and attaches to the front. So just trying to get Michael back. Bear with me as we dial him back in. We will get him on. In the meantime, we might take a break while we work out these technical issues, and we'll play some messages and come back right after this with more talk about Superman and Lois, comic books, and so much more.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
This Superman movie is brought to you by Canon, the world's leading camera manufacturer.
Quick and happy.
Canavision 8 camcorders.
Hey, I thought you were Superman, huh?
Hey, I am.
If it moves, shoot it with a cannon.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
And we're back on WGBS TV Live, and Michael's back. He's had a network drop out there. If it moves, shoot it with a cannon.
Oldie but a goodie. We play that one a lot, but yeah, it's always kind of good seeing Chris Reeve and Superman together. So
yeah. So before the break, we'll talk about Superman and Lois, and saying that I've been impressed with what they've done with the script, and I'm hoping that translates well onto the screen. And Superman and Lois will premiere in January 2021, all going well, and it will air on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. following The Flash.
Yeah, I've spoken about this before, but I really like that it's going opposite The Flash. I think that's with Grant Gustin being such a big Flash fan, and it being, the second oldest show in the Berlanti-verse. Having it go after that, it's a good lead-in for the new show.
Seems like I'm true to form. I keep always mentioning if it moves, shoot it with a cannon. Everyone knew that I was going to be saying that coming back from the break. And surprisingly, Anthony says he's never seen that commercial.
Well, there you go, Anthony.
The first time for everyone. But yeah, you've had some network. Everyone's going, there's Michael's famous network problems. You got a new modem this week too, so you were hoping that it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. It's been working great all day, but now that we're using it, of course, that I needed it. Now I don't know what it is about this house and internet and the two not having the best of luck. I mean, it's better than it was.
I don't like each other.
Because last night I didn't have anything. Yeah, so I don't know. It's like I'm doomed to not be internet famous because my connection just doesn't keep up.
Bobby Sperling saying, was Canon cameras associated with filming of Superman 4? Yeah, Canon was behind the film, but from the looks of things, I actually might have shot it with that camera that Chris was holding.
Yeah, I was about to say. No, Canon Cameras is a separate company than Canon Films.
No,
Canon
exactly.
Films was Golan Globus. They were two Israeli film producers and directors that really just watch Electric Boogaloo, the documentary. Not safe for work, to really get a sense of who they were. There's some Superman 4 stuff in there, so it's worth watching. But yeah, it's those guys, they wanted to do it cheap, and you can see that with Superman 4.
So yeah, they're not associated with Canon, the brand. So there you have it. All right, moving away from the television thing, well, in some way, DC FanDome, Hall of Heroes on August 22nd. We spoke about it last week. The figures are out this week. DC are very happy with the way it went. It generated a massive global following, 22 million views across 220 countries and territories over the 24-hour run. You were thinking it was going to go in the billions. I remember you mentioned that last week. Billions, you said. 22 million was where it came in, and it was via their in-house player, live streams from comic book influencers, and other content generated by fans watching the event. And the DC FanDome hashtag trended on Twitter in 53 markets and on YouTube in 82 markets.
Yeah, I mean, it went very well, and despite being somewhat disappointed that it wasn't everything they were going to say it was going to be, I'm glad that it did well. I hope for the next one that they bring in more influencers, maybe people who have been doing this for a while, maybe two guys from opposite parts of the world that get together every week. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. So there you go.
And yeah, the next DC FanDome event is dubbed Explore the Multiverse. It will debut on September 12th. I heard saw a couple of people complaining on our comments. Why was there such a gap between DC FanDome #1, if you like, Hall of Heroes, August 22nd, and September 12th for the next one? I guess, one, they probably needed to do the whole promotion drive again and get people aware of it, where if you kind of left it to the week after, a lot of people wouldn't have been aware, where now they've got weeks to be able to prepare people for it and promote it and create whatever promotional material they need for it and get people ready for, and hopefully fix some of the technical issues that were associated with the first one.
Yeah, I mean, for a first-time worldwide event, it went off much better than the potential for failure there was much greater than what actually happened. So, they did have some problems. You had problems getting onto it. And that's just because, those servers were being, bombarded by 22 million people. So, I think the takeaway from this will be that DC realizes that they can kind of do things themselves. Mm-hmm. They don't have to rely on conventions to be the driving force of their, of their advertising and hyping new product and such like that. If they can do it all themselves, they can save a lot of money. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to go to conventions, when we have conventions again. Because that may never happen. I don't know. The world's a funny place. But but yeah, I think what it's proven to AT&T, the new corporate overlords, is that they can do that. They can do this, and they can do it cheaper because I don't think the influencers were paid. I don't know that for sure, but I have a feeling this is one of those things like any convention. It's like, hey, come be part of it, do something for it. You know, we're not going to pay you, but it's exposure, and you're going to be before 22 million eyes. So,
and I guess that's the thing. I tried to contact the Australian guy who was the Australian influencer. I actually managed to find my way onto the Italian influencers YouTube feed so that I could watch DC FanDome. Adam DeChannel sent me the link because I was unable to do so through DCFanDome.com. It just wouldn't play for me. So I guess those guys could probably promote their YouTube feeds a little bit more. But yeah, it would be like if someone came to me and said from DC, hey, we want you to be the Australian, influencer for DC FanDome. You won't get paid, but you'll be able to use your YouTube feed to stream the service, and you're part of what you do and what you say, and it will drive possibly hundreds of thousands of people to my channel. I would do it because one, it's it's exposure, and two, it's possible future income because people then subscribe to your channel and maybe become members and so on and so forth.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's different. It's the difference between content providers and like writers and artists, because all the time artists, especially people who draw artists, they're like, well, do this and it'll be good for exposure, but you can't pay the rent with exposure. But when you're talking something like this, where the potential for you to the potential here is to drive more. There is a greater potential of people coming to your channel afterwards than before.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things. It's like, well, yeah, and it really doesn't take more of your time than what you're It doesn't seem to take more of your time than what you're normally doing for the site. So why not have an official veneer to it, and use it, and hopefully that will generate viewers later. Now it'll also generate a bunch of people that are going to come in and be jerks in the comment section, but it's the internet, so that's going to happen.
Yeah. Justin saying in the comments he doesn't understand why I had to go through the Italian feed. DCFanDome.com just wouldn't work for me. I got the trailer playing in the video feed there live on the site, and then it got to the end of that and nothing happened. It would just ask me to reload, and reloaded the trailer again. So no matter what I tried from my iPhone, my iPad, my iMac, nothing would work for me, and so I ended up getting a link to a YouTube feed, and it happened to be the Italian influencers whose feed it was. It was the same thing, except I guess instead of having an American person or Australian person or a German person or whoever that influencer was in between the breaks where they're promoting what's coming up next, it was these two Italian people who were speaking in English, just with broken accents, with Italian accents. So I'm not sure if Michael's frozen on me again. Yes, he's frozen on me again. So he's got a poor connection. He's dropped out. Hopefully he will reconnect very soon. But yes, DC FanDome Explore the Multiverse will debut on September 12th. The details are here on the screen right now. Explore the Multiverse, Saturday, September 12th, DCFanDome.com. This, instead of being a live stream, will be an on-demand event with panels and programming going live at once, allowing you, the fan, to curate your own experience over another 24-hour period. The schedule does include things like the Superman and Lois TV panel. It includes there's comic book things, Deceased, Injustice, lots more comic book stuff happening. The Dark Knights, Death Metal, that kind of stuff, all happening on DC FanDome Hall. Explore the Multiverse. There'll also be this live live event of a radio series being read out with some of the Superman the Animated Series people and other cast members there. So, yes, we'll have to check that out as well. DCFanDome.com for September 2nd. And I'm still trying to get Michael back on the line. So bear with me as his internet service plays up on him. But I will push forward and move on to the comic book side of things. And on the comic book side of things, this is what's available for Superman fans reading comic books this week. Check out this week's comic books right now. Here we go. We've got... Turn that off. We've got Deceased Dead Planet number 3, which is available in a variant cover right there. It's also available in a movie cover, or like a tribute cover, Deceased Dead Planet number 3. Also available this week, Justice League number 52, and that is also available in a variant cover. Also out this week, Young Justice number 18, which also comes in a variant cover. Then in the collected side of things, we've got DC Superhero Girls Midterms trade paperback, and also out this week is a new edition of Supergirl Cosmic Adventures in the 8th grade, and that is what's available for comic book readers around the world, both physical and digital. So check those out when you can. They go on sale 1st of September, so today. Interestingly, there haven't been any new Superman Man of Tomorrow digital first comic books published or released for digital download, which has been a couple of weeks now, and that's a bit of a shame because I've been really enjoying those and seeing what Robert Venditti's been doing with those. But sadly, no new releases of digital chapters for Superman Man of Tomorrow available on the digital first programming for DC Comics. Looks like Michael's internet is not playing nice tonight, so I will push on and look at... DC sent us a couple of pages from Action Comics number 125, some preview artwork, not just the covers, but the inside artwork as well. So here's a couple of pages. Here's the cover artwork for Superman Action Comics 1025, House of Kent, Chapter 4. It also comes in a very nice variant cover, which is actually behind me at the moment as we go live, and is also part of the background that makes up the Superman homepage design for this month as well. Here's some internal pages in this particular comic book. Welcome to the House of Kent. Superman's truth is out there, and now it's time to rewrite the rules. The invisible mafia has taken advantage of the chaos that's descended on Metropolis, and the House of Kent is going to talk to them in a language they'll understand. It's a new adventure featuring Superman like you've never seen him or them before, in a story guest starring Supergirl and, yes, 2 Superboys. So that is the comic book Action Comics 1025, which will be on sale 22nd of September, so in a couple of weeks. And a couple of questions in the comments. Anthony's asking me, what's this Endless Winter crossover about? It's a Endless Winter. I actually haven't seen much about that as yet. I haven't looked through the solicitations in full. So unfortunately, I can't give you much detail about that to Anthony, but I will look into that for you and hopefully come back with some further details down the track. And Michael is back with us right now. All good?
Yeah, I hope. I just reset the modem again, so we'll see how it goes, folks.
Yeah. So I just did the this week of comic books and did some preview pages of Action Comics 1025. We had a question. I don't know if you know about this one, Michael. Endless Winter, a crossover coming up in the comic books. Have you seen anything about that?
No, I haven't really heard anything about that, oddly enough. Of course, my ear is not as close to the to the ground as it used to be. It sounds like a redo of Final Night.
It does a little bit. It's coming in December from what I'm looking up here. So it's let's have a look here. It's launching in December 2020. It looks like Michael's died on me again there with his internet, and details are pretty sparse at the moment, but it appears the storyline is likely Justice League related. So from a speculative point of view, GamesRadar.com is saying that there is a DC character that goes by the name Endless Winter, who dates all the way back to the 1940s Action Comics number 20. And that has a recent connection to the Justice League. But her name, Dolores Winter, was originally an actress who was kidnapped by the villain, the Ultra Humanite, who had his brain surgically transplanted into Winter's body. So I'm not sure if that's where they're coming from with this Endless Night thing, but we will know more when the December solicitations come out, probably later down the track. So sounds interesting. We'll just have to keep an ear out and an eye out for that one, but nothing at this point in time on Endless Winter. Anthony, I hope that gives you just a little bit of a update on where it's going to be or what it's going to be. But no new information about that just yet. You'll have to bide your time and wait for December. All right, the Superman homepage Super Trivia Quiz has been updated for another month, and it is now available for you as fans to be able to check out. And the Super Trivia Quiz is the monthly update that we do here at the Superman homepage. And the 3 questions we're asking you this time around, and don't answer them here if you know the answer straight away, but you can head to the Superman homepage website. The first question is, in the movie Man of Steel, what does Jor-El embed within the body of his son? Question number 2, in the movie Man of Steel, what is the name of Zod's scientist? And question number 3, at the end of the movie Man of Steel, how much was the satellite which Superman destroyed worth, according to General Swanwick? If you think you know the answers to all 3 questions, get to the Superman homepage website and find the Super Trivia Quiz under the Favorites menu, and we will read out, or we will give out the names of every person who guessed all 3 questions right in the update at the beginning of October. So get involved in the Super Trivia Quiz monthly segment of our website. And I'm trying to dial Michael again. Hopefully he's been able to reset his modem. But you've got up till the 28th of September to get those answers in. As I said, head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the Favorites menu, you will find the Super Trivia Quiz. And it's a Man of Steel theme for this week's 3 questions. All right, while we're still trying to get Michael back, a fan film was released online this week called Legend of Superman COVID Response. Now, it was put together by fan and filmmaker Frank Palangi, who writes, I hope everyone is staying safe out there and keeping positive. I made this one-man crew short out of our current situation as an inspiration and the question of how would these superheroes handle this. Made for fun and pure entertainment. It's an interesting fan film. I'm going to show a little bit of it here, but it's worth for you guys checking out at our website. August 26th was the date of the release. So here is a little bit of the fan film Legend of Superman COVID Response. Check it out as we get Michael back. Here it is, this fan film.
Break away these chains that hold you down.
Strong one. The one who's supposed to save the day so you can see tomorrow. I serve a purpose for the greater good, but now I'm left with nothing I can fight, nothing I can reason with. hear the cries more than ever, and I'm left powerless. I hear the...
So that's just a little bit of the beginning of Superman COVID Response, Legend of Superman COVID Response, a fan film put together by Frank Palangi. You can check it out on the website if you so wish. Are you going to stay with us now, Michael?
I'm going to try. It's not my choice to drop out, believe me. This is all on AT&T right now. See, they heard me talking bad about them. I'm telling you.
They waited for you to go live.
Yeah, they were waiting for me to go live, and then boom.
Bang.
I'm just hoping that maybe it was just like some kind of weird fluctuation in the lines. I mean, a lot of people are using the internet more than they used to. So
so true. We just did the Super Trivia quiz, and Steve Brown asked, why do you have until the 28th of September? It's a monthly quiz. It goes, starts at the beginning of the month, and then you have until a couple of days before the end of the month to get your answers in so that I can compile everything, get up a new one, and launch it at the beginning of the next month. So that's why. It's a monthly quiz. Give people a chance to get involved.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't just do itself, folks. Steve's got and he's been doing this for like over 20 years. So the fact that he keeps coming up with new questions is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I probably doubled up somewhere down the track, but no one's ever going to go back and check.
look, if anybody notices, then they deserve a job on the site.
That's right, they can come up with new questions each month for me. All right, do you want to do a This Week in History while you're live and going on air? I will play your promo for you right now.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Righty. So, This Week in History, we don't have a whole lot.
No, we don't. I went through.
Beginning of the month is usually a little less busy than later in the month. We do have Adventure Comics number 158 from 1950, which was released on this day in 1950. And it had a Johnny Quick story, an Aquaman story, a Green Arrow story, but more importantly to us, it had Superboy in The Impossible Task, and it has Superboy doing a puppet show, which is kind of ironic because I just flipped the thing on my calendar, and it's Superman doing a puppet show. So apparently puppet shows were really big in the 40s and 50s. Also in 1950, you have World's Finest, which also featured a Green Arrow story and a Tommy Tomorrow story, but it also had, is that the famous Batmite meets Mr. Mxyzptlk story?
Didn't get that cover.
I love this. Yeah, this is a great story where Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk basically team up to see who has the better hero.
Okay.
It's a fun story. Going all the way to 1990.
Wow.
1960, 1970, 1980, nothing. 1990 on September 4th with an October cover date by William Eisner Loebs and Kurt Swan. You have Action Comics number 658, which is the third part of the Sinbad contract. This has been reprinted in the Superman: The Power Within trade paperback, which I was kind of surprised to see. But yeah, it's a cool little three-parter introducing a new hero basically to the DC universe. Jumping ahead to 2000, we got a couple things here. We have Millennium Edition, More Fun Comics number 101, which is the 46th of these. You remember these Millennium Editions?
Yes, I do remember them.
Yeah, for those of you that aren't aware of what they are, starting in 1999 and going all the way through 2000, DC printed this thing called Millennium Editions, where they would reprint a famous comic from their history. And this is the first appearance of Superboy, which was published in 1945 and is the first time in comic book form that you saw anything of his Kryptonian origin. They did in Superman, in Action Comics 1 and Superman number 1, all they said was that he was basically came from a dying society. The comic strip had Krypton and the radio series had Krypton, but this was the first time you saw it in a comic book. So kind of flew under the radar. You also had Superman number 162, by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. This is leading up to the Lex getting voted as President of the United States storyline.
Vote Lex 2000.
Yeah, it's right there in the corner. This was actually a fun story. It was a good Aquaman Superman throwdown. But the thing that will always amuse me is that we're going to be talking about this in November. Lex was elected president of the United States. We didn't have a clear winner until a month or two down the line. So looks like we may be headed back to that. Also, Superman Adventures number 49, which has a really cool cover of Superman with Lois and looking like an alien world. This was written by Michael Reeves with art by Allure Armonico and Terry Austin. Jumping ahead to 2000, we had the Superman, The Last Family of Krypton number 2, which we talked about a month ago, and which was an Elseworld story, and also, please don't, really, is it freezing? Yeah, no, it froze again.
Did it? No, I think you're fine.
It's not on my line. Let's see if this is going to work. Because, yeah, my thing's not working now, and I have no idea why. It's saying no internet for some reason. Oh, here we go. What the heck? Why are you going to MSN.com? What the heck, people? Yeah, that was pretty much it, though. I only had one or two more things. That's really weird that I'm still going and I can hear you.
Yeah.
But you're frozen.
Okay. I also had Batman Confidential, or Superman Confidential. I don't know which one it was, but number 48 had Superman on the cover there, which you can check out. And I believe there was also a Tiny Titans.
Those two I missed. Wow, you got a couple that I didn't get.
Where is it?
Very good.
Tiny Titans. There it is. Tiny Titans was also Pet Club was also out that week, which is always cool. I love Art Baltazar. I met him in person at the Superman celebration a couple of years back, and he's a great character. He's just one of those quirky kind of artistic types that just has a lot of energy and a lot of buzz about him, and he's a really great character. If you ever get to meet Art Baltazar, you'll be able to have a 20-minute, half-hour conversation with him, no problem whatsoever. He's just a really perky personality.
Yeah, I'm hoping things will calm down in real life, and we can actually, again, that we can have a Superman celebration again. That would be nice. But yeah, so, man, my internet's screwing up. I'm really mad that I lost those two, because I had, probably because of it dropping out a couple times, I lost whatever I had up there. But that's pretty much this week in history. It's the beginning of the month, like I said, is usually really quiet on this front, because especially in the earlier decades when there were a lot of Superman books, but it seemed like they all came out around the same time of the month. So, and distribution was a little weirder then. So,
Justin's asking, didn't a DC character die of AIDS in the Millennium comics?
Not that I remember.
Doesn't ring a bell.
DC was really, it didn't jump on that bandwagon. Around 1988, they were talking about, in Office, Jim Starlin has talked about this, that they wanted to give one of their characters AIDS to kind of talk about it. And there was a character in called New Guardians that supposedly had it, but they really didn't play it up again. I hate saying this because it sounds like I'm an apologist. It was a different time. Talking about homosexuality, not that that's strictly speaking associated with AIDS, but in the 80s it was, unfortunately, because of a lot of ignorance. But it hit that community harder than other communities. But they didn't really want to talk about stuff, with gay characters. In fact, I think one of the first out gay DC characters was the Pied Piper in an issue of Flash. Just randomly came out of the closet. Marvel made headlines in '92 when North Star came out of the closet, but anybody who'd been reading Alpha Flight was pretty hip to his sexuality. So, but yeah, those Millennium editions were mainly reprints, so it's not like they were. He might be confusing it with the Millennium series that New Guardians came out of. So maybe that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, I think that's what Jace in the comments is also hinting at. So,
yeah.
But we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions that they want to pose to either Michael or I about anything Superman related. We're gonna make an open forum for the next couple of minutes. If there's anything that in particular you would like to have discussed here, or a question that you might have, we're only too happy to delve into any Superman questions you might have. Michael, I might ask you from a personal point of view, and this is a question without notice. What's your favorite collectible that you've got in your collection that is probably something that's quite unique?
I have, and I don't have it where I can grab it. For our second Valentine's Day together, Rachel gave me a Superman snow globe.
Oh, nice.
That was Superman kind of sitting in the snow globe, and the base of it was made to look like the Matrix star drive. That was what brought him to Earth at the time, and there's Kryptonian writing around it. It's getting a little faded because snow globes do that.
Yeah.
But that is like absolutely one of my favorite, just because it was Rachel giving it to me. And the funny thing about that Valentine's Day is her dad had to go to a funeral and came back with a stomach bug, and she had it on Valentine's Day and I got it the next day, so it wasn't like the happiest of Valentine's Day, but she gave me that and I'll always love that. She's given me a lot of really cool Superman stuff over the years. She found a card game from the 60s that has Kurt Swan art on it. That's really cool. She's found these coins, and just every once in a while she'll go on eBay like around Christmas or my birthday and try to find the weirdest thing she possibly can.
Nice.
Because I am super hard to shop for.
Yeah, I can imagine. A couple of questions in the comments. Justin saying, what does black kryptonite do to Superman? Well, black kryptonite was, I think, first introduced in Smallville, where it split him into like two personalities.
Yeah, and it did the similar thing in the comics too, when they brought it to the comics, because that happened to Supergirl in the early days of her Jeff Loeb series. Well, not that it was a Jeff Loeb series, but
yeah, they also used it in Justice League Action, the animated series, short-lived animated series, where it split Superman into a good and evil sides, which one wore a black suit, one wore a white suit, respectively. In Supergirl, it's known as Haranel. It was also black kryptonite, which had mutagenic effects, like magical powers that originated from the planet Krypton. So it's been used in different, but it's usually splitting like a personality into a good and a bad kind of thing, which was kind of a red kryptonite thing in many ways as well.
Yeah.
It could give you, not splitting, but give you like a bad personality like it did to Clark. Anthony saying, what happened to the Elsewhere in the DC Universe comic book review section of our website? It kind of went the way of the dodo. There wasn't really any necessity to keep it going. We didn't really need any reviews from the other areas of the DC Universe unless they were Superman related. Superman hasn't necessarily popped up in too many other characters' comic books in recent times, so that is.
And there really isn't a DC Universe anymore.
No, exactly.
In the sense that we're used to it, it's. I think we're really heading towards more self-contained stories where one doesn't really have anything to do with the other.
That's so true. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the comments on YouTube, and thank you to my co-host who was dealing with sporadic internet issues tonight. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, it's working fine now, but I appreciate it, Steve.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, Tina Murray, and John Patrick Van Pelt. And if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you can become a sponsor for as little as $1. Or you might like to become a Superman homepage YouTube member. All you have to do is click on the join button below. Now, the complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website and our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back or perhaps miss part of the show. But we'll be back next week on Tuesday, September 8th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. Look forward to talking with you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com.